What's going on, YouTube? JT is reborn here, and welcome back to another edition to my Godzilla and Marvel comic book reviews. That's right, for people who wanted me to cover Marvel, I'm back once again to do a Marvel thing, but it's also bringing in Godzilla, which makes it all the more awesome. So this one is Godzilla vs. Hulk. Last month I covered Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four, which was a pretty fantastic, fun time. Godzilla got infused with the power cosmic. We had Galactus using Ghidorah as one of his little pets, which was kind of crazy to think about. And then you had Silver Surfer. It was just an all-around fun time. This one is pretty solid too, although I will say that the title of this thing is very misleading. This is not Godzilla vs. Hulk. Godzilla and Hulk actually don't fight at all in this comic book. It's more so Godzilla and Hulk kind of team up a little bit in this thing, and more so Hulk helps Godzilla, and there's kind of this mutual understanding of the two of them where Godzilla just kind of looks at Hulk by the end. He's like, okay, look, you helped me out, and I'm not actually going to fight you, which I thought was kind of a cool moment, like the way the monsters have this understanding of one another, and if somebody like tries to threaten like Banner / Hulk, Godzilla's going to be kind of there to protect them. So I thought that was kind of neat. Definitely a bit of a contrast from what was going on in the pages of the Fantastic Four Godzilla little issue that we had there. So as the opening of the issue starts out, we have General Ross, and he's on his ranch. He's trying to find a means to capture Godzilla, and he's got his own secret weapons. He also have Banner in there, and we have this other character known as Dr. Demonicus, who I wasn't really familiar with. Like, is that a Godzilla? Is that like a typical Marvel character? And I had to I kind of looked their name up after I read the issue, and turns out they were in some of the pages of the earlier Godzilla versus Marvel stuff that we got all the way back in, what was it, the 70s, that original run. I did buy the omnibus for that, hard copy of that, and I do plan to read through that at some point. So it's sitting on my shelf right now. Come on, Sean, you got to sit down and read this thing. But I'm oh, but I got all these other new comics I got to cover and all that too. So it is what it is. But anyways, so during this thing, he has his own little contraption there, which they think is just one big giant trap that's just gonna stop Godzilla or whatever. But to lure Godzilla in, they have these implants on Kumonga, and Kumonga is off fighting Mothra because they know Godzilla has a soft spot for Mothra, and that basically draws him in. Godzilla's design is pretty cool in this thing. It definitely, you have one shot here where he looks like this, but then you also have a following shot where he looks straight out of, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 74, or, Terror of Mechagodzilla. That definitely that late show at 70s era Godzilla design, from Megalon through Terror of Mechagodzilla, and through Zone Fighter as well. So Mechagodzilla is built by this thing, definitely modeled after the Showa era design. Some cool little abilities there, stuff out of his hand and all that. Demonicus is there, and they're we're gonna stop him, but Godzilla is just too powerful, and so he unleashes his secret weapon, which turns out to be Hedorah, and this seems to trigger the Hulk because of the stuff that's been going on in there. And Banner, who's been kind of undercover a little bit, not really showcasing that he was the Hulk because apparently he faked his death and all that many years ago or whatever, is finally unleashed. And so the Hulk goes to help Godzilla face off against Hedorah. You can see Hedorah even burns his hands at one point. And Demonicus is there, and Hulk resuscitates Godzilla, but then Hulk uses some of his blood to seep into Godzilla, and so the power of the gamma radiation unleashes Hulk Godzilla, which is one of the coolest things ever. I mean, we had Cosmic Godzilla, now we have Hulk Godzilla, and I think the Spider-Man one's going to give us Symbiote Godzilla. So we're getting all these cool little Godzilla forms that we never really got beforehand, and I always love that too. And plus, we get green atomic breath, which infused with the power of the gamma radiation is enough to take out Hedorah seemingly for good, and even Demonicus at one point. Hulk helps free Mothra and Kumonga from the things, and Hulk's I'm still strongest, but Hulk doesn't want to fight today. And there's this nice little moment between the two of them, between man and, or Hulk and fellow Godzilla monster, and Godzilla kind of looks at him, and he understands what Hulk did. He's not going to fight Hulk. Hulk does not want to fight Godzilla, and he's there to okay, thank you, that was a nice thing of you to do. And of course the gamma radiation does wear off, and I wonder if because the way these are kind of connected, this doesn't really reference much the Fantastic Four thing that we got with Godzilla and the Power Cosmic. It's something very different between these two. Ross goes to kind of aim his gun at Banner at one point, but Godzilla's I wouldn't want to make Godzilla angry there. And Godzilla kind of senses when Banner is in trouble and just kind of stares back at him. He's okay, you don't want to mess with this guy. Him and I are bros. And that seems to be kind of it. But then we also have this little bit of goo, with the question on, Ross's arm. Is that the leftover remnants of Hedorah? Could it potentially be some sort of symbiote connection? I don't exactly know, but I thought this one was a pretty fun time, but I do think the title is extremely misleading because Godzilla does not, in fact, fight the Hulk at all. So why title it Godzilla vs. Hulk if they're not going to fight? I feel like they probably should have titled it something else, but the Godzilla vs. the Hulk angle is just to bait people into the issue. And of course, this one's written by Gary Dugan, and Giuseppe Camuncoli is the penciler and all that, this thing. But I thought this was a really fun, like, entertaining comic book. I actually think this one might be a little bit stronger than the Fantastic Four one, although I do think calling it Godzilla vs. the Hulk is extremely misleading because the characters don't fight at all. Like, that to me is like one of my big issues, is titling this thing Godzilla vs. Hulk, and they don't even fight. So why even title it that? So you could have titled it something Godzilla and Hulk. Like, that would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. Like, as a single issue, I like this one quite a bit. I like the understanding the two monsters had with one another, and I thought, like, Godzilla kind of being there to protect Banner if something were to go wrong later on was a nice little touch as well. So good stuff so far. Loving this Godzilla Marvel crossover stuff. I think the writers are having fun with it too, and I'm having fun as a reader of this sort of stuff. So it tickles my funny bone, and like it makes me smile and all that other fun stuff. So yeah, pretty good stuff overall. So if you haven't read the Godzilla Marvel stuff that they got coming out now, it's definitely worth checking out. I can't wait to see, I think next month it's Godzilla and Spider-Man, which is going to be pretty awesome as well. And then I think we got X-Men, Avengers, and then like some big event that they had announced or whatever. So I don't know. It's tough for me to keep track of all the stuff Godzilla's in because he's beefing with everybody. He's beefing with the Avengers, the X-Men, the Justice League. I mean, think about that. Godzilla's fighting the Justice League and Avengers within the same year. And you know what? We're going to probably get that third Mighty Morphin Power Rangers thing. So he's going to be feuding with the Power Rangers too as well. It's like crazy insanity, like all around, and I'm all for it. Like, give me more of this stuff. This is the fun stuff of comic book crossovers that I like to see, not like an over, like, insane amount of events just kind of flooding the things like over and over again, but stuff like this, which is fun and cool. So yeah, good stuff overall. Thumbs up for me. And that's going to do it for the comic book reviews for this week. So I hope everybody has a terrific Easter weekend. Like I said, I had these out, and I had the after the movie, which I'll be because I'm about to go in the theater to see the movie I'm seeing tonight, which is called Sinners. So you'll see an after the movie. I don't know which one I'll post first. Probably the after the movie. Then I'll get these things out of the way, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll be all set for the weekend. So thank you so much for watching. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.